Most managers and support staff work in the office, while the workforce who produce the workplace's product or service work elsewhere. In order to connect these two distinct areas, office people do site visits. These visits give office people the opportunity to see for themselves how well the workforce is performing and the problems they're encountering, so that they can then take steps to solve the problems and improve performance. Working in construction and facilities management, the work I oversaw was always done out on a project site. So as a manager, I did a lot of site visits, and I learned very early on that you can't come off as someone who works in an ivory tower, feels superior, and looks down on the workforce. You have to demonstrate that you are willing to mingle with the workforce and get your boots dirty. Most of the on-site workforce works in an environment where the conditions are less aesthetically pleasing and more hazardous than the office. So the workforce wears clothing that is appropriate for their environment. This is why the first rule of a site visit is to make sure you dress for success. Most office people like to do site visits because you get to shed all that formal business attire and dress casually. The standard uniform for a site visit is a polo shirt with the company logo, khaki slacks or jeans, and a comfortable pair of walking shoes. This uniform is really all about saying, I'm ready to go wherever you need me. I'm ready to get involved. Dressing for success during a site visit is so important, and it's why I cringed when Vice President Kamala Harris and Congresswoman Veronica Escobar showed up for their El Paso border site visit wearing pantsuits, jewelry, and high heels. While they looked very nice, they immediately sent the message that they weren't planning on leaving the comfort of air conditioning and they wouldn't be going out to the field where the agents work. And whether they intended it or not, their dress also said that getting all hot and sweaty is for working people, not them. Our culture believes that the people who work in an office are inherently better than the people who work out on a site. So when office people show up to a site visit in their office clothes, the workforce interprets it as them just coming out to show off their superiority. We have to understand that site visits are all about respect. By dressing appropriately so they can interact with the workforce in their work environment, office people show that they respect the workforce and the work that they do. In return, they begin then to earn the respect of the workforce. Unfortunately, Vice President Harris's border site visit gives us more examples of how office people fail to earn respect. Anytime a high-ranking person makes a site visit, people see it as an opportunity to get in some face time. They monopolize the office person's time and fill it with meetings and well-choreographed demonstrations and tours. They ensure the office person only meets with individuals who drank the workplace Kool-Aid and can paint a rosy picture of site operations. A good leader doesn't fall into this trap. I've known many great leaders who've said, I didn't come out here to watch a dog and pony show. I came out here to get my boots dirty and see for myself how things are going. Now, in order to see how things are really functioning, an office person has to go to the right site. But all too often they make site visits to the best performing locations and stay far away from the sites where the problems are. Now, if you've ever worked on a site with lots of problems, then you know who in your workplace has the guts to show up and get involved. You also know who runs and hides and comes up with every excuse in the book to stay away until they're forced to show up. And you know the reason they're avoiding the site is because if they know what the problems are, then they'll be expected to solve them, and they don't know how. Site visits are a test of an office person's leadership, and it's a test a lot of them fail. So remember, when you do a site visit, it's all about interacting with the workforce, listening to them, respecting them, and caring enough about them to get involved so you can help them do their job better. When you do get involved, you're going to find that the site is full of some really great people. And there's also a lot of characters out there. The site is also a fun place to be because you're away from all that office and everything is simply about work and people. It's also out there on the site that you're going to see the tangible results of your work, and that's what gives you a really great sense of achievement. So as you move up the ladder and your work takes you further and further away from the workforce, you're still going to want to do site visits because you're going to want to experience that connection between you and them, because you know that that connection is what makes your workplace successful. And one more thing. For those people who inevitably are going to think that I'm picking on Kamala Harris to be political, I have a picture you're going to like. There's just way too much wrong with that. So ladies, when you do a site visit, dress for success and make sure you do your site visit the right way. This is Dot Callahan asking you to help me turn the woman in the room into the women in the room. Sign up for my newsletter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or find the Woman in the Room on Facebook. It's up to you. Just keep watching and sharing my videos. To get advice from a woman who's been there, dealt with that, and knows what works.